'Twas brilling, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogoves, and the mome raths outgrabe. Beware the Jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the Jubjub bird, and shun the frumious Bandersnatch. He took his vorpal sword in hand, long time the Maxome foe he sought. So rested he by the Tumtum tree, and stood a while in thought. And, as in uffish thought he stood, the Jabberwock with eyes of flame came whiffling through the tulgey wood, and burbled as it came. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through the vorpal blade went snicker-snack. He left it dead, and with its head he went galumphing back. And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy. O frabjous day, callooh, callay, he chortled in his joy. 'Twas brilling, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogoves, and the mome raths outgrabe.
Hello! Okay, so today we'll be analyzing Jabberwoky by Lewis Carroll. A little bit of background on this poem. It comes from the book Through the Looking Glass, which, if for some reason you don't know what that is, it's when Alice goes back to Wonderland and goes on this epic adventure. I haven't read the book, so I don't really know. But the Jabberwoky is a poem that Alice finds, and the only way for her to read it is to hold it up to a mirror and read it that way. So it's kind of crazy, mystical way of reading a poem. But also, because this is based in Wonderland, we have a lot of weird words. So all of this light blue, tealish, hodgepodge of words over here are the definitions to the underlined words over here. So, brillig is 4 o'clock p.m., the time when you begin broiling things for dinner. Slithy is lithe and slimy. Toves are badgers. Gyre is whirling, whirling motion. Gibble is to screw out holes in anything. Wabe is side of a hill. Mimsy is flimsy and miserable. It's just a mix of the two words. Borogoves, extinct parrot. So I guess a borogrove is a bird that used to live in Wonderland. A mome. They didn't really have a good definition of this. So what they said was from home, because the character Humpty Dumpty explained all these words to Alice because she didn't know. And he didn't really know what mome was. So he told her that maybe it was from home. Wrath, a sort of green pig. Outgrabe, something between bellowing and whistling with a kind of sneeze in the middle. Frumious is fuming and furious, the two words mixed together. Deadly is what vorpal represents, the vorpal sword. Maxome is fearsome. Uffish is a state of mind when a voice is gruffish, the manner roughish, and the temper huffish. The Tulgey Wood is location in Wonderland, where the Jabberwock lives. Burbled is continuous murmuring noise. Galumphing is to move in a clumsy, ponderous, or noisy manner. And frabjous is delightful and joyous. So we're going to take this section by section so it's easier to understand what Carroll's trying to purvey here. 'Twas brillig and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe, all mimsy were the borogoves and the mome raths outgrabe. So basically it's saying around 4 o'clock, the little slippery, slimy badgers had whirled around and made holes in the side of the hill to live in. Then, beware the Jabberwock, my son, jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the Jubjub bird and shun the fumorous Bandersnatch. Well, this is just the father giving advice, being like, hey, be careful of this crazy beast. Also, watch out for this really fuming and furious beast. I'm assuming the Bandersnatch is just another creature. I Didn't look that one up. He took his vorpal sword in hand, long time the maximum foe he sought, so rested he by the tum-tum tree and stood a while in thought. So our protagonist took his mighty, deadly sword and walked around the woods, the trails, trying to find the Jabberwock. And so at a point in time, he just sat below a tree and waited. And as an uffish thought he stood, the Jabberwock with eyes aflame came whiffling through the tulgey wood and burbled as it came. So uffish is a state of mind when the voice is gruffish, the manner roughish, and the temper huffish. So this guy, he's sick of waiting, he doesn't want to be here anymore, and all of a sudden, the Jabberwock jumps out and is making all these weird murmuring noises as it's coming through. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through the vorpal blade went snicker-snack. He left it dead, and with its head, he went galumphing back. So at this point, our protagonist has encountered the Jabberwock and is hitting it with his sword. And he killed it, and he decapitated its head and brought it back with him. And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy. O frabjous day, Callooh Callay, he chortled in his joy. His father is congratulating him for what he did. He's so happy that his son got rid of the Jabberwock. It's like, oh, give me a big hug. And then the very last stanza is the same as the very first stanza. So everything's back to normal. It's like this happy little circle, and everything is good and bright. So through those words, we get this crazy sort of mixed up tone, and we said mystical and lightish. Because, I mean, you got badgers, man. You got badgers and galumphing, frabjous, like delightful and joyous. We said that the speaker is probably a third-person narrative. In the context of the book, it would be Alice, because she's reading the poem out loud, but in just the poem itself, it'd be a third-person narrative. The occasion of writing this poem would be because Lewis Carroll was writing the novel Through the Looking Glass. Audience would be connoisseurs of fantasy, the whimsical world of Wonderland, those who read the novel. Purpose was very open, because this is a section of a novel, so the purpose could just be to throw in something crazy to move the book along. We said highlights of how crazy Wonderland is, parallels of what Alice might have to do in the book later on if she might have to face this crazy beast and overcome it and be joyous. Maybe to play out a quest, because we have a quester, which is the son who comes to slay the Jabberwock. We have a location, the Tulgey Wood. We have a stated reason to go to slay the Jabberwock. We could have the actual reason to go, which would be to get recognition from his father, maybe. Yeah. I don't think I'm missing anything else. Also, the poem could be to explain the Jabberwock story to Alice. Don't really know why, but hey, maybe. The subject is, of course, the Jabberwock, the crazy mystical creature, and the person who's gone to slay it. And it sets the scene about, like, it being on a hill and badgers making holes inside of the hill, and the father warning the son to be careful of the Jabberwock, and then the son going and finding the Jabberwock when it jumps out of the Tulgey Wood and kills it. And then the kid goes home, and his father's like, "Oh my goodness, you killed the Jabberwock! Hurrah!" And yeah. Then already we stated the tone was a mystical, lightish sort of tone. And yeah, that's Jabberwoky by Lewis Carroll.